Yeah, it's Zach, stepping up to the game, living life prepared, I'm not here for the fame. With a plan in my hand, gotta make it alright. Through the storms and the struggles, I'm ready to fight. Prepare for the worst while I aim for the best. Zach's unique prepping, we're reaching new heights. Living strong and ready, we're chasing the lights. With courage as armor, we'll conquer the day. Together we rise, we'll fight our own way. Stacking knowledge and skills, I'm building my base. In this world of chaos, I'm finding my space. No fear in the hustle, I'm sharpening my tools. When the world brings the waves, I'm breaking the rules. Stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Yeah, Zach's unique prepping, we're reaching new heights. Living strong and ready, we're chasing the lights. With courage as armor, we'll conquer the day. Together we rise, we'll find our own way. We'll find our own way. Stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Stacking knowledge and skills, I'm building my base. In this world of chaos, I'm finding my space. No fear in the hustle, I'm sharpening my tools. When the world brings the waves, I'm breaking the rules. Stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Never lose sight. Yeah, stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Let's break every chain, with Zach in the lead. We'll never feel pain, never feel pain, never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain, never feel pain, never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain. We'll never feel pain, we'll never feel pain. We'll never feel pain.
Welcome to Unique Prepping. My name is Zach, and I'm here to show you that no matter the challenges we face, like my own experience with cerebral palsy, we can all be prepared. Prepping isn't just about survival, it's about independence, confidence, and community. You see, prepping is for everyone. It's about taking control of our future, no matter our limitations. Here on Unique Prepping, I'll share tips, techniques, and strategies that anyone can use, regardless of ability. Together, we'll build a community where everyone contributes, learns, and grows stronger. So, whether you're a seasoned prepper or just getting started, join me on this journey. Let's empower ourselves and unite to create a better, more resilient future. Because in this community, everyone has a role to play. Disclaimer. While this stream is intended for everyone, some views expressed by guests or in comments may not reflect that of the content creator or sponsors. With that said, we welcome your views as a vital part of this community. And now it's time for Unique Preppings Community Live Stream. Good evening, our prepping community, and welcome to the 22nd installment of Unique Prepping's Community. On tonight's episode, we are going to be discussing the essential navigation skills for prepping and why they are crucial in today's society. I'm your producer, host, and community member Unique Prepping, and with me is our wonderful community member Officer Hodges from Special Tactic Aid and Rescue. Down in the description, I put his link. Please go subscribe and keep our community growing. Before we begin, how are you this evening?
Zach, brother, it's good to see you. I am doing good. How are you, brother?
That's good, and I'm doing excellent. Thank you for joining me for this important topic. We're diving into a skill that's as old as humanity itself, navigation. Whether it's navigating through dense wilderness, finding our way in urban environments, or simply understanding how to read the land and the sky, navigation skills are an essential aspect of any prepper's toolkit. In times of emergency, when technology may fail us, knowing how to orient ourselves with natural and traditional methods. Navigation prepping isn't just about maps and compasses, it's about building an intuitive sense of direction. This skill, often neglected in our GPS-reliant world, is one of the core pillars of survival and self-reliance. From understanding basic cardinal directions to observing natural signs like the sun, stars, and even local wildlife, there's so much to learn and incorporate into your preparedness plan. We'll cover different techniques and situations to help you understand which method is best depending on your environment, whether that's in the deep woods or a busy cityscape. The best part about learning navigation is that it empowers you to feel prepared, even if you find yourself without access to technology. Imagine getting lost in an unfamiliar place but feeling calm because you know how to use the natural environment to get yourself back on track. This confidence is invaluable in any prepping journey, as it provides a foundational skill that supports other aspects of survival. Mastering navigation techniques is not just a practical choice but a mindset shift that builds self-reliance and independence. Before we dive in, I'd like to remind everyone to please like, subscribe, share, and comment on this video. Every bit of engagement helps our channel grow and reach more people, empowering them to build their prepping knowledge and skills. Your support fuels our content, helping us continue to bring you essential survival insights. So, if you enjoy what you see here, please take a moment to hit that thumbs up button and share this with your friends and family who could benefit from learning more about navigation prepping. I also want to encourage you to check out our LinkTree, where you'll find all things unique prepping. From resources to donation/social and partnerships, our LinkTree connects you with everything that makes this community unique and invaluable. We are dedicated to creating a prepping community that prioritizes unity, self-reliance, and empowerment, and our LinkTree is a great place to stay connected to our content and resources. We're also proud to share that Unique Prepping is partnered with Special Tactics Aid and Rescue, and Stolen Spirits. Our partnership with Special Tactics Aid and Rescue adds a professional search and rescue component to our mission, and Stolen Spirits brings awareness to missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. These collaborations enrich our content and outreach, allowing us to make a greater impact and assist those in need. Together, we're building a stronger, more aware community of preppers. Do you have anything to add before we begin?
No, I think you covered it, Zach. I'm just here for the ride. I'm just kidding. I guess I could say, yeah, like I have met a lot of preppers and like talking to them, and this is a good thing that you're doing this, Zach, because most preppers they think in their mind that one, they're just going to stay, they're either going to bug in or they're going to bug out, and they already know the terrain and whatnot. So what they usually focus on is usually, the most essentials: food, water, protection, shelter, you know, um, heat, uh, cool, wherever they could get their hands on. But this is land navigation and navigating is one of those that I think is always put on the back burner and nobody really focuses on it because I've actually met some people that are like, I know my backyard. Well, as a search and rescue, um, that may seem true to a lot of people, but some of the people that go lost that we have to look for, they're in their own backyard, but they just get turned around. And I know we're going to get deeper into it uh, later on, but I really believe this is one of the most essential skills, not just for a search and rescue team, but really for anybody that is a prepper or anybody that's actually going to go out and take a drive down the road. Uh, like you said, GPSs are the new age thing, and these are becoming things of the past. This is my roadmap right here. This is, and how many people not well, this is truck specific, but um, how many people know how to read this and know how to orient it in certain ways? There's things on here. How do you know to what's your distance on this map? What direction you're supposed to be going on this map. There's so many details. Like, how can you identify buildings? How can you identify water? I mean, it's a thing of the past. And I as a truck driver, use GPS, but it's not my first reliant thing that I do. There's a step. It's called not pre-tripping, pre-planning. And a lot of times I'll look at satellite images and stuff like that. And, yeah. So there's a lot of people that don't know how to, not maybe the older generation, but the newer generation. It's all about these tablets, all about the phone, all about the GPS. And without that, I mean, we see it all the time. If somebody gets the new generation, they get at 15% on their battery life, they're freaking out. They're like, "Oh my gosh, where, where's the charger? I need a charger. Do you have a C charger? No, I don't. I don't have an Apple phone, iPhone. I need a C charger. So this is a good thing. This is something that most people don't think about. So I'm excited to get into this. I'm glad you reached out to me, knowing this was my bread and butter.
Question number 1. How would you handle a situation where traditional navigation tools, like a compass or GPS, fail? What steps would you take to stay oriented?
Wow. Well, that's a good question. The first and foremost thing that you need to do whenever the GPS or I wouldn't say a compass will fail, but the reason why I say that is a compass usually is very reliable unless you're in a iron-rich environment. It can mess up your compass, but if you're one of those people that uses your GPS, whether it's Garmin, TomTom, or whatever, um, first and foremost, stay calm because you're going to get yourself lost even more if you start freaking out and you start picking directions. Stop what you're doing. Yeah, exactly. Stop what you're doing, and you need to think about the tools that you need to use. What was that? The sun and some sticks. Yeah. No, that's she's actually right. She's actually right. The one way you could do it is uh, if you're lost and you need to know directions. This is more in the woods. Maybe not too much of urban, but mainly woods. Take a stick, put it in the ground, where that shadow is, put a rock. Wait about 30 minutes and that shadow will move. Okay. Place a rock there, and that is now east. The shadow is now pointing east. Now you have a direction of east and west. And you can do that at night too. Ball back with a stick and rocks. But all you have to do is wait about 30 minutes and observe what you're seeing. The moon will go. The moon will actually travel to the west as well. Okay, so if you wait about 30 minutes and you stargaze, you can see the stars moving that way. Now this doesn't apply to everywhere because like the southern hemisphere is a little bit different, but we're talking about northern hemisphere. Um, and another thing you can do too is everybody should have in their survival kit or the bug out bag or whatever. You need to magnetize a needle. Okay, and the way that you magnetize the needle is uh, you grab a magnet, and hopefully you know which side is positive, which side is the negative side, and take the magnet and put the needle on the magnet, and it's going to create a current through the magnet, through the needle. All right, and you leave it there for a few days. Now, to find out if it actually worked, take that needle and you want to stick it to something metal, and it should be magnetized. All right, put that in your bug out bag, your go bag. Now, if you don't have a compass or the GPS goes out, now you have a way to actually make your own compass, which is you're going to find some water. You're going to put the water in a container, okay, a cup, or if you can find a big leaf and just need to carry some water, take another leaf, put it on top of the water, and then put your magnetized needle on there, and the magnetized needle will point you north. But the biggest thing is always stay calm and start thinking of these things. But what if it's a new moon? Okay, well then you also have the stars. Like, I would say to probably I'm not good in this area, but I would say start to get a bunch of nautical books that talk about using stars for direction and travel, and start learning that. I'm not an expert in that, but I would suggest that you do. So those are some tips of how, and basically what all you're going to do is doing that. You're showing east and west, right? So now you know which way north is if you want to go north. And I know we're going to get in some more, so I'm going to shut up now and let you answer it, Zach.
In a situation where traditional navigation tools fail, maintaining composure becomes the first critical step. Panic can cloud judgment and lead to irrational decisions, which is the last thing you need when you're already without your standard tools. Breathing deeply and assessing your immediate surroundings can help clear your mind and provide an opportunity to make logical decisions. The environment itself can be a guide, and taking the time to observe it thoroughly can be more insightful than immediately setting off in a random direction. Familiarizing oneself with basic wilderness markers is essential. Recognizing natural patterns, such as the growth of moss on the northern side of trees in certain climates or observing the direction rivers flow, can provide general orientation clues. These markers, while less precise than a compass, can still help you stay aligned with your intended path. Pausing
Very
to
nice.
listen can also provide hints, especially in areas where sound carries. Water sources like rivers and streams often produce sound, and moving toward or away from these sounds can either bring you closer to or distance you from civilization. Another technique for orientation is to remember the natural signs you've passed along the way. Trees, rocks, or other notable formations can act as mental waypoints, helping you keep track of your general location. Recalling these markers may not bring you to your destination, but it can at least prevent you from looping back into the same area. You can also make physical markers of your own, such as piling stones or leaving noticeable imprints in the ground, creating a breadcrumb trail to refer back to if you feel you've lost your way. The position of the sun is also a reliable source of guidance when other tools are lacking. Observing its position at different times of day can indicate east and west. This strategy, however, is best utilized when combined with knowledge of the area you're navigating. Knowing that sun navigation can vary by season is crucial. Additionally, taking note of shadows can provide a consistent frame of reference for direction if checked regularly. Staying hydrated and conserving energy are equally important. Navigating without tools often involves a lot of physical effort, and energy levels can drastically impact one's ability to think clearly. Rest frequently and keep track of your hydration. If the situation is a longer-term survival challenge, rationing any food or water is essential, as pushing on without proper sustenance can lead to errors in judgment. Avoiding quick decisions without analyzing your surroundings each step of the way can save time and resources. Mentally preparing yourself before a trek for the possibility of navigating without tools is invaluable. Recalling survival skills, even if only practiced in a controlled setting, can increase your confidence and ability to navigate through unexpected scenarios. Training yourself in these skills beforehand not only builds confidence but also gives you a variety of fallback methods to employ in emergencies. Practicing and maintaining these skills regularly reinforces them, making it more instinctive to rely on natural indicators when needed. UP out.
Yeah, you be out. All right. In my area, it's hard to get truly lost in a vehicle, but very easy on foot. Yeah, some places are like that. Gonna put out a lot of information. For sure. Yeah. But I had to give you a high five, Zach, because like that question one, we both started with the same exact thing. Do not panic. Because that's what it happens all the time. That's why, a lot of people end up lost in the woods and we have to go out there and look for it because they panic and they're like, oh yeah, I was this way, right? Yeah, I remember that tree, you know, and then they take off in that direction, and that's not the direction they came from, so they get themselves more lost. You really have to think, give yourself time to think for sure. What's up, Michelle? Yeah. It was funny too when Zach sent me these questions. I was like, "Oh, great, cool! I don't even have to research these. I know these." Well, there was one thing I had to double check on, but we'll get into that a little later. I had to double check it because it is
Question number
true and
2.
it's
In
also
what
not
ways
true.
can natural indicators, like the position of the sun or stars, help with navigation, and how confident are you in your ability to use them?
Stars, not so much, but sun, 100%, 100%. Why I say with like I said earlier, with the stars, I need to get into the whole nautical, because that's how they, you know, out in the sea, you don't have, like a landmark to look at. You just have open ocean. So, you know, learning these nautical books and reading the stars and the moons and constellations and everything like that. Like, I don't know all that, but I will. And the easiest one to know is the moon, but if you have Regina said it in there. What if it's a new moon? You can't see the moon. So, oh, well, there's also stars. And like I said, 30 minutes in an area, just kind of stargazing, and you note a position of a star, and you see the stars now moved over this way. Everything goes from the east to the west. You know, um, unless you're like really up north, then it just goes around you. So, so people in Alaska, I'm sorry, this is not information for you, but what's it? Indeed, Monster. Yeah, that's one I was gonna say. Now, don't quote that 100% because the reason why is in tropical areas or wet areas, moss will grow all around the tree because the reason why the moss grows on the north side of the tree, like in Arkansas and other places, is because the sun actually gets to the southern side, the eastern side, and the western side, but it doesn't always hit the northern side. So if you're in a very moisture enriched area, that will not work. Uh, but it will be more prominent on the north side, and that's why moss grows. Is because moss grows on in moist environments. Because there's not a lot of evaporation on the east, west, and south side of a tree. So I hope that somebody smart would be walking in front of me. Yeah. Um, uh, so I just got lost. No, thank. um. So yeah, the sun moving from east to west is a good indicator. What was the question again? And what natural indicators like the position of the sun and stars and um there there's there's uh there's other indicators. Now it's not always the case, but majority of the time rivers and streams will go south. Now there are some areas that they have like a weird thing um where they will go north, but majority of them do flow south. But like Zach said earlier, if you listen to the sound, if you're quiet and you listen for the sounds of running water, human beings are habitual. Basically, they're creatures of habit. We're going to build civilization closer to bodies of water. So if you come, you want to find a lake, you want to find a river, you want to find a stream, and in any direction that you head, you will actually get to civilization. Um, and if you're truly lost, another natural indicator how you find water is start following tracks, animal tracks. They will lead you to a source of water. If you can't hear the water and don't have a map in front of you, uh, they're going to lead you to water. Um, but I would highly suggest that you don't really start heading in that direction until you do what we said: stop, don't panic, get your bearings first, and like what one of the things that we teach, and I think I have the video. Well, I think I took it down because we had to take it down for certain reasons. If you're ever lost anywhere, especially in the woods, your best bet is to stop and build a camp. You know, make yourself seen. Okay. If you have like bright colors in your bug out bag, bring them out. I suggest everybody have at least one or two orange trash bags with them in their bug out bag, because you can pull that out. Not only is it going to make you be seen, but it's also going to act as a rain catcher, so you have a source of water. And the reason why you want to build a camp, build a fire and everything, smoke and fire actually attracts us. We'll smell it and we'll come towards you. But now you have a place to actually kind of relax and hopefully get found. But when you build the base camp, what you should do is pick a direction that you want to go, north, east, south, or west, and go that direction for about 5 minutes. Okay, no further than that. About 5 minutes. Then you want to turn around, do a about face basically, and walk 5 minutes in the direction you came. The reason why you want to do that is you want to start looking for those trails. You want to start looking for the water. Okay. But if you head out in those directions and you can't see any indicator, now at least you know, and you're not too far, you know where your camp is. And now you have a base for us to come out and find you, and it makes it easier. And you can bug out about it, especially for here in the mountains. I'm slacking. Yeah, definitely. And don't be afraid. I know a lot of people with the bug out bags and stuff like that. They usually try to do earthy tones. So if you do an earthy tone, make sure you have something in there that is bright, in case you do get lost. Carry a signal mirror with you. But the natural indicators, yeah, there's like a lot, and there's quite a bit of natural indicators out there, mainly moss. If I were lost in the Everglades and I were on dry ground, I definitely set camp and 3 signal systems ASAP. The harder to shoot when you're not on dry ground. Yeah, yeah, that's a harder one. You know, Duck, you can always find an alligator and just ride it to the nearest civilization. Yeah. Are there paper star maps that correspond to locations on the planet as they relate to direction? Otherwise, an electronic device might not. Yeah. Well, Ben, that's a great point. But that you're also relying on technology, and what if that goes down for you? But yeah, um, there are books on. I can't think of any right now, but there are books on uh, star navigation and constellation. Like Regina said, the tip of the Big Dipper um, is a North Star. No, you're not supposed to tell anybody. Hey, but hey, Milky Ways work too, because I mean they have a shiny, wrapper. So Zach, you could use that as like a signal mirror. Just bounce it off, bounce the sun. There you go. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good idea, Tuck. That's a good idea. Jacob have his bug out bag. Yeah, Regina's talking about that one swamp that we actually were searching. Yeah, you're talking about. I mean, I don't know, Regina. Like that one area, I think we would have been all right if we got lost. Just let the mosquitoes just carry us away. You know, they would take us to more people, right? Yeah, go ahead, Zach.
The sun is one of the oldest navigation tools known to humans. Its rising in the east and setting in the west provides a reliable means of orienting oneself when other tools are unavailable. By observing the sun's path, one can approximate cardinal directions, even without a compass. As the sun rises, a navigator can determine east by facing the sunrise and west by turning to face the setting sun. This simple method can be used to determine general direction and assist in staying on course. Understanding these basic sun principles is the foundation of natural navigation. At midday, the sun is generally in the southern part of the sky in the northern hemisphere and in the northern part of the sky in the southern hemisphere. This knowledge can help refine one's orientation if it's noon or near that time. Sun orientation becomes even more refined if the navigator understands the tilt of the Earth and the changes in the sun's path over seasons. During winter, the sun is lower in the sky, making it easier to approximate direction, especially if this knowledge is already stored and practiced. Being able to determine direction based on the sun builds confidence in one's ability to navigate naturally. The stars add another layer of navigation reliability, particularly when the North Star, or Polaris, is visible. For those in the northern hemisphere, Polaris is a reliable indicator of true north. It's also relatively easy to locate by identifying the Big Dipper and following its pointers to the North Star. Once north is established, one can gauge other cardinal directions, especially if familiar with constellations that change positions through the night. This night navigation skill is especially useful on clear nights, allowing for travel during cooler hours if water conservation is needed. Cloud coverage, while often challenging for sun or star navigation, can also give clues. In certain climates, clouds tend to gather in predictable areas, which can indicate nearby water sources or mountain ranges. For instance, clouds often form above forested areas due to transpiration. Observing the sky's cloud patterns can provide insights into nearby topography and help in choosing a direction. These signs require keen observation and practice to interpret, but they're valuable when no other tools are available. Bird flight paths and animal tracks are also subtle natural indicators. Birds often fly toward water sources or known habitats, especially in the morning or evening. Following these movements can lead to streams or rivers. Animals leave trails, which can sometimes be followed to reach consistent water sources or food-rich areas. Each of these indicators is often ignored in modern navigation but holds value in natural navigation, particularly for those accustomed to watching wildlife patterns. Mastering these skills requires practice, especially to feel confident using them in emergency situations. Without frequent practice, natural navigation can feel overwhelming, as it's easy to misinterpret signs under stress. Therefore, familiarizing oneself with these skills during hikes or nature outings builds confidence. Over time, these signs become second nature, lessening the need to rely on technology for direction. UP out.
Yeah, I forgot about the birds. I'm glad you brought that up. I definitely forgot about the birds, but yep, I did mention the animal tracks. And yeah, I'm so glad you reached out to me, Zach. This is my bread and butter, is it not? This is without me doing any research whatsoever. Like I love doing live streams with Zach, but sometimes he chooses me to come on here, and I'm like, I don't know most of this stuff. I know it, but you know, yeah, it's it's one of those things that definitely need to learn these things in search and rescue, and with search and rescue too. Like if anybody is wanting to start their own search and rescue, the number one thing that I instill in my volunteers is they have to learn land navigation, even if they are the office folks, because we might have to send the office folks out there. But if you don't know land navigation, we're not sending you out there, because now, if you don't know land navigation, you're going to get lost. Now we have to go look for you. instead of looking for the other person. Now we have two people. So, yeah. So good stuff, Zach. I'm glad somebody finally started talking about land navigation as a prepping tool. Yep, Sterling Sydney. Oh, good old Sterling. Yes. That's it. Well, another thing too, Zach, if you ever get lost in the woods, all you have to do is build a house, or a log cabin real quick. Don't worry, the tax collector will be out there shortly. There's a little joke for you. I just fly my drone up. It will always be there for me. What could go wrong? Let's see, Ben sounds like the type he just relies solely on technology. I hope that's not the case, Ben. What's up, Blue? That's fun. It's like, y'all are quicker than me. The Bushman video or two. No, I tell you what, it's a good show to watch. Is Hey Dude, You're Screwed. Have you seen that, Zach? Oh, dude, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's really good. It's like, is it five? I think it's five friends. And they've all have like a military background or something like that. Like one is a SAS, the other one's I think there's a Green Beret, Army Ranger, Navy SEAL. What's the other one? I can't remember. But they like kidnap each other. One of them, and they take them to some remote place, and they give them a bag of like stuff. Some of it's useful, some of it's not, and they have to make sure that they do a search on them to make sure they're not carrying like an E tool, not an E tool, a multi tool or something like that. And they try to take it away. So they literally try to sneak little survival gear, like sticking it underneath their skin if it was a needle or something, like weird stuff. But anyways, they're dropped, and they have to actually find civilization. And yeah, it's Hunter Brothers Coffee. So if you guys want to have like a little bit of an anxiety attack and in the comfort of your own home, just watch that show. Hey Dude, You're Screwed. Or Dude, You're Screwed, or something like that. I don't know if it's Hey Dude.
Question number 3. How important is it to know both rural and urban navigation techniques? Which environments do you feel more or less prepared to navigate in?
Me personally, I feel very confident in both. And there's some little tricks too. And it's not the case that this is why I said I had to look it up to double check. And it is true, and it is also false, because different areas they have different ways. But what I was telling one of my chiefs, I was telling them that, oh, these are easy answers, because in urban environments, street signs are pretty easy because avenues go east and west, and streets go north and south, um, which most people don't know that. But that's not true in every single place. But it does reign true because, like, um, what New York is set up is different than how like Denver, Colorado is. Uh, so I do highly suggest that you always carry a map with you. Yeah, there you go. Um, and study your local area. Like, see how much that actually reigns true. And talking to my chief, like in her area, it does reign true because she has East Avenue. So that avenue, that road actually goes east and west. Okay, but like I said, it is true and it is false because there are some places I was looking at the map before. Well, Zach, you saw me. I was looking at the map, and there are some places that I see it's streets. It's all streets, like north, south, so that it doesn't always rain true, but majority of the time. But as far as roads, most people know that even numbers run north and south, and odd numbers, or not, I'm sorry, even numbers run east and west, and odd numbers go north and south. So like I I-80 goes east and west. I-95 goes north and south. Um, so that's one way. In a big city like New York, it is hard to find the horizon and find the sun. Everybody knows that. But you can still actually use the building's shadow to figure out which way is which. Same concept as the stick and the rock that I was telling you about. Um, and everybody does know that east and west is east is where the sun rises, west is where the sun sets. Um, so urban's it's not really hard to get lost in the urban area, um, but it still is possible. One good example is Washington D.C. is complex, and the reason why Washington D.C. As an urban area is so complex is they built that by design in case there was an invasion by a foreign entity. They didn't want like a straight road going right to the White House or the Capitol or anything like that. So DC is a little bit more complex. Um, but a good old fashioned map, like even this map right here, this road atlas here, it's got sections where it's zoomed in on on the cities, and you'll have the north indicator on that map. The only problem is now you have to figure out north, and the easiest way is figure out where east and west is. That's always going to be the easiest for you. Making dinner and listening. Ooh, what you making for us, Sarah? But yeah, um, yeah, it's very important, 100%, because we can't rely on electronics. Even though it seems like everything is phasing towards electronics, and just like I know Ben was kind of joking about it, using a star app to figure out where you are, or sending up your drone, and or using your GPS and all that. Too many people rely on that nowadays. Good old fashioned, uh, good old fashioned work. Like me, the way I actually navigate is when I get a load, I look up the address. I'll actually use a street view, um, and try to figure out, where I'm at on that street view on Google. Then I'll look at a satellite, right? I'll look at the map, see my best way. If there's a city map in there, I use the city. But the best way for me to figure out how to get to a place that I've never been before is I usually call up the uh, uh, the company and I say, "Hey, I'm coming in here. What's the best direction? I don't want my GPS telling me the wrong way. And GPS are not very reliable, especially trucker GPSs, because why? We see on Facebook all the time, like pictures of Swift in areas they're not supposed to be because they followed the GPS. So they're not very accurate, but nothing beats a map and a compass. And if you don't have like a topographical map, your best bet next is to have a road map with a compass. So hopefully I gave Zach enough time to write what he had to say. Oh, he's nope. I need more time. All right. Okay. I don't know what to say. Oh, guys, you want to see a magic trick? Na 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 na. I'm just kidding. Let's say I'll see what's in the comments section. Let's talk about navigation, researching. Yeah. And if you guys want more navigation tips, I'll be putting more on my channel, or not my channel, our channel, this Special Tactics Aid and Rescue on map reading. You ready, Zach?
The sixth sense, that might be true, but remember that EMPs might take it out.
What? I do it. Yeah. Oh, lagging. What? Oh, okay. They're talking. I didn't see what the sixth sense said. Yeah, yeah. I mean, where I was at, like, I'm coming from a standpoint of like search and rescue, and just you're just lost in the woods. But we also have to keep in mind what Zach's talking about. Like, this is it could be an apocalyptic kind of scenario where we don't have the luxury of having cell phones. So the biggest thing is Zach. I think a lot of people need to focus on uh, one. You need to focus on hands-on training. Get out there and find somebody that actually could show you how to read a map and actually look at a lithostatic compass and actual topographical map, and start prepping and collecting books. I say, yeah. See, hey, there you go, books. That's another big thing I don't hear a lot of people really talking about in prepping. It's always food and water and this, but yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that, all them books. See, right there, y'all. See, if I was at home, I'd show you my office, my office for Star. I got a bookshelf about that big too. I even have the old Boy Scout handbook from when I was a Boy Scout. I still have that. You know how much one of those is on eBay now? $200, man. $200. But get it. It's got a lot of information in there. Old military survival books, living off the land books, land navigation books, all kinds of books. Lightning, what's up? So yeah, learning works for many. Watching someone else do something instead of only reading, hence taking classes and practicing with others. Yeah, and a lot of times too, hands on, because you could read all day. You could watch a YouTube video, but a lot of times you will not understand the full experience until you actually have it in that hand. and you're trying to imply what you have read and what you have seen to the actual act itself. But yeah, I agree with you. And what was that, Jim? I think it was. I buy as many useful books as I can, but I don't have the budget for many of the books I'd like. Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. There's some really good books. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point
Knowing
too.
both
You see
rural
it.
and urban navigation techniques is essential for complete preparedness. In rural settings, navigation often relies heavily on natural indicators like the position of the sun, stars, or landmarks like mountains and rivers. These environments, while sometimes difficult to navigate, allow for freedom of movement, enabling the use of larger, broader markers for direction. Rural navigation often involves topographic maps and an understanding of natural landscapes, allowing preppers to maintain a general heading based on geographical features. Familiarity with natural landmarks can make rural navigation feel more secure. In contrast, urban navigation demands a very different skill set. Urban areas are built on a grid or zoning system, making it necessary to understand street layouts, public transit options, and the general structure of the city.
Mhm. Mhm.
Landmarks such as tall buildings, bus stations, or major streets serve as navigation points. However, cities are more complex and change rapidly, which makes maintaining situational awareness critical. Knowing how to read street signs and interpret public maps is as important as rural skills, as city navigation has a faster pace and more distractions. Preparing for urban navigation also involves understanding escape routes and safe zones. Cities can become crowded or unsafe quickly in an emergency, requiring preppers to plan routes that avoid heavy traffic or dangerous areas. Urban settings can change drastically based on time of day, seasons, and infrastructure conditions, so adaptability is key. For example,
Mhm.
knowing when to follow the flow of people for guidance or when to take isolated paths can make all the difference. Urban navigation is often about observing the behaviors of others to gauge safety levels, rather than following natural indicators. Preparedness can vary greatly based on the familiarity of the terrain. Those who spend more time in rural areas often feel more at ease in nature, while urban dwellers may find city navigation second nature. Each setting demands different types of preparation, and switching between the two environments can be challenging. For instance, a city dweller might struggle to read natural indicators like animal tracks, while a rural individual might find crowded public transit routes overwhelming. Preparation for both environments also involves understanding the limits of resources. Rural areas may require knowledge of foraging or water sourcing, while urban areas rely more on social resources, such as locating open stores or assistance centers. Developing skills in both realms is essential for preppers, as each setting provides unique challenges and safety concerns. Navigating both rural and urban environments with ease enhances flexibility and resilience.
Mhm.
Ultimately, preppers should consider their comfort and preparedness in each environment. Practicing regularly in unfamiliar settings builds confidence and adaptability, increasing overall preparedness. Navigating effectively in both rural and urban settings becomes a powerful skill when faced with diverse emergency scenarios. For my preference, I'm more of a rural navigation type of person because not only am I separated from a big city, I'm basically surrounded by mountains, which is pretty much ideal for navigation. UP out.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree. And uh, a lot of people talk about their bug out plans. Especially in urban environments, where they most people that are preppers that live in urban settings or going to try to go out to the more rural areas. And, you know, if you look at it on a GPS, most people are thinking, okay, I could drive my car. It's only 30-minute drive out there. No, no. Here's what you do. You can practice, hands-on practice, right? I wouldn't do it with all, like firearms and all that, but you could grab a bag, grab your bug out bag, drive the route that you wanted to go, but then park the car somewhere real quick and pretend that there's a roadblock there because shit hits the fan. That 30-minute drive could turn into 2 days. And I've not seen a lot of preppers talk about this, and this is one of the things that I've actually thought about because, and another reason why I'm going to be changing jobs because when shit hits the fan, I could be 1,000 miles away from my home, and regardless of what people say, I will want to get back home, you know, and it may take me months to get back home, but I am going to do everything in my power to get back home. So I thought about it and I was like, man, I don't have a big enough dugout bag for that, or I call it a get home bag. But what about these individuals that have thought that, hey, I live in the city, I'm going to get out of the city, or they think they look at it and they're like, oh, that's not too bad. It's only 30 minutes. Well, start from point A to point B on foot because you might not even be able to drive that car or truck or anything. You know, um, you might be able to get 15 minutes down the road. That's great. Hey, but now you have another supposed 15 minutes, 15 miles or so to get to walk. So you need to practice those. And have a plan A, plan B, or I should say a route. Route A, route B, route C. What if I go down this way? This is clogged up. If I go this way, oh, there's too many people there. I don't want to run into a whole bunch of people. So you need multiple directions and understanding that, like, if you're in the city, can you take the subway? Walk the tracks down to the next. You won't take the subway, but walk the tunnels, or the tunnel's going to be inhabited by all these people trying to seek shelter. You don't know. So many different variables, but you got to get out there and practice, and you got to look at maps and get those skills in. Like, yeah, some people might look at you weird, but there's ways to do it. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, here's a good example. Not a lot of people look at me, but this is not my bug out bag, but this is my bag, and it's to replicate my 24-hour pack that we carry for search and rescue. It's got 30 pounds in it. Don't need any more than that. And I put that on and I go walk around the truck stop. Yeah. Do you look silly doing it? Yeah. But, at least I'm not this 300-pound dude that, went into McDonald's and ordered a Big Mac, 10-piece spicy nuggets or whatever, not, large fries and a Diet Coke because he's on a diet. Yeah, you could. You can drink your own pee, but you can only drink it up to 4 times before it becomes toxic for your body. Yeah. It's nasty. What? Yeah, it is very salty. It is very salty. Don't ask me how I know this stuff. Well, let's just say practice makes perfect, people. Don't look at me like that. Come on, Zach. You haven't. Is it necessary? Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? No. But it's sterile and I like the taste. It's more important to live, yeah. Hey, my daddy. What the heck's going on in the chat?
Question number 4. How does learning navigation skills enhance self-reliance, and what role does this play in your overall prepping strategy?
Oh my gosh. Learning navigation skills enhances your self reliance by like a million. Okay, because now you're taking yourself off of the grid. I don't kiss and tell, Brady. I don't kiss and tell. Some of the viewers might have been in the military and may have gone to SEER school and may be able to answer that for you. Because I went to SEER school, so if anybody's in there, they may be able to answer that. Yeah, too much. Yeah, that's where it gets. That's why you can't drink it more than 4 times before it becomes toxic. And plus, you're just recycling it. But that's neither here nor there. Mr. Peabody, yes. I'm Mr. No, okay. I think it enhances it like to a millionth time because now you're getting yourself off of the grid. You're not relying on any of these electronics at all, and that's the biggest hurdle that I see the newest generation is going to have. Like my kids are going to have that problem because my kids don't really have like an iPad in their face all the time, but some of these parents put these iPads and stuff, so these kids are going to grow up and all they're gonna rely on is 100% electronics, and we all know electronics fail. The batteries die. Especially with like the new cell phones. Like I remember the time when you used to be able to take the battery out of the phone and you could just buy a new battery. Now you have to buy a whole new phone, because you can't take the batteries out. Things rely on batteries like drones and stuff like that, and flashlights rely on batteries. Now they're coming out with the chargeable flashlights and headlamps and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, whatever happened to the old just taking a battery and put it in there? Now we have, oh, I got to plug this in, and oh, hopefully it lasts me 16 hours. So you're unplugging yourself from the system that I honestly feel like they're doing this by design for people to actually be so self-reliant on. You can't see the question? She didn't say, oh, she's asking, not me. It's not me. Zach got all these questions. I'll let him answer that for you. Un momento, por favor. Muchas gracias, señorita. Sorry. Sorry. Ben, Ben, no, Tang is not dehydrated astronaut B. Sorry, I'm just trying to fill it in while you do that, Zach.
Latina, I set up a question format for Wednesday nights for my panel.
Latina, sí. Sí, Mia habla español poquito. But yeah. And what role does it play in my overall prepping strategy? Oh my gosh, like that's my number one strategy. Because understanding maps and especially topographical maps. Me being a tactician from the military, you know, you're able to study that, and you can see high ground, low ground, you know, and I believe preppers need to learn a little bit more about tactics, too, because when you look at a map and you understand navigation and all that, you're going to be able to set up a better stronghold. Join as you be. Yep, you're going to be able to set up a better stronghold. Hold, especially whenever it comes to your bug out location. So yeah, understanding maps, understanding land navigation, understanding the stars, the moon, and the sun, and all that. Well, you know, everybody should at this point in time understand the sun. I hope we don't have to have a class, Zach. You know, it rises in the east and it sets in the west. You know, and how do you know? How do you determine north, south, east, and west? Well, never eat sour waffles. Okay, so once you determine the east and west, it's so easy. But yeah, or another one was not sour waffles, but soggy waffles. Yeah, that's a little accurate. Yeah, that's the one, Zach. Never eat soggy waffles. I don't mind soggy. If it's soggy with syrup, it's so good. As long as it's soggy with syrup. But sour waffle sounds terrible. So remember that, guys. Never eat sour waffles. Or soggy waffles for Zach. But yeah, it's a big part of north, east, southwest. Never eat soggy waffles. Yeah, see? There you go. Or sour. Like I said, I like soggy waffles when it's like got so much syrup on it and it's like, yeah. But that's just me. What you got, Zach? Oh.
Learning navigation skills directly contributes to self-reliance by allowing individuals to move through unfamiliar areas without assistance. This level of independence is essential for preppers, as it reduces the need to depend on technology or other people for direction. In survival situations, being able to navigate confidently increases one's chances of reaching safety and locating resources like water or shelter. Self-reliance grows with each navigational success, reinforcing a sense of control and capability in otherwise unpredictable situations. The value of navigation skills in prepping lies in their practicality across various scenarios. Whether navigating urban landscapes during a blackout or wilderness paths after a natural disaster, these skills provide a foundation for moving toward safety. The knowledge of reading maps, using compasses, and interpreting natural signs transforms any setting into a potential route. This ability to rely on oneself for direction bolsters a prepper's confidence in facing diverse environments, adding layers to their survival strategy. Building self-reliance also includes practicing these skills regularly. Each time a prepper navigates a new area without GPS, they strengthen their ability to adapt. Regular practice reinforces skills that might otherwise feel overwhelming in high-stress moments. Becoming accustomed to different terrains, from dense forests to city blocks, helps preppers develop a sense of natural orientation. Such familiarity makes it easier to navigate new locations calmly, even under pressure. This calmness can prevent panic, a critical factor in making smart survival decisions.
Mhm. I know, Zach. Gotta do your
Navigation
UP
skills
out.
complement other self-reliance tactics like foraging, shelter building, and resource gathering. In survival situations, knowing one's surroundings directly affects access to resources. Navigational confidence allows a prepper to search effectively without wasting energy or time. It creates a mental map of possible resources in any environment, which enhances their ability to plan and prioritize in challenging settings. Mastering navigation thus integrates seamlessly with the larger goal of resourceful self-sufficiency. The mental resilience that comes with navigation skills is just as valuable as the physical ability to find one's way. Overcoming the fear of being lost or disoriented builds psychological fortitude, which is necessary for staying calm under pressure.
Mhm.
Navigating unfamiliar territory often tests patience and problem-solving skills, both of which are key to self-reliance. Each successful navigation experience is a reinforcement of one's capabilities, adding to a prepper's overall resilience in facing the unknown. Overall, navigation skills are a critical part of a comprehensive prepping strategy. They not only offer practical utility but also strengthen mental resilience and adaptability. The ability to navigate through any terrain without relying on technology completes a prepper's toolkit, fostering a true sense of independence. UP out.
See, there it goes. I know to wait for the UP out there, Zach. I've been with you a few times. But anyways, Regina was talking about this little bad boy right here. Oh, look at this, Regina. Look. Oh, I got another one. Oh, okay. So I'm not gonna tease her with it. I'm getting these from the truck stops, Loves, um, and if you guys want to look these up and see if you can find it, okay. Cool. But the cool thing about it is it has a compass. There's your compass right there. And on the other side, it has a barometer. But yeah, Regina, this one's yours. I got another one. I can't remember whose this is. But yeah, I'm getting all the theme those. That way, you know, everybody should have a bunch of compasses, right? Bucky's has them too. That's cool. Yeah. They're only like $15 at Love's. Yes, Regina. Yes. I'm getting everybody. Everybody that joins is getting one. North Cal Jim could talk about this stuff all day. What we're talking about today. Got a little pain. Last question.
Question number
All
5.
right.
What are some common mistakes people make when relying solely on technology for navigation, and how can we prepare ourselves to avoid these errors?
Well, the The answer to your question is in the question. They rely solely on technology for navigation. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're a knucklehead. You're a knucklehead if you do that. Because technology can fail, 100%. And electricity. And the way to combat that and actually prepare ourselves to avoid these is start taking classes, start reading books, watching while we have the internet and everything. Start watching as many YouTube videos as you can, um, but don't just watch the videos. Uh, Practice it. Like I learned how to tie some knots that I had never even knew about by watching YouTube videos, right? And I would sit with a piece of rope and I would actually practice it. But I was like, man, you know what? Later down the road, I'm going to forget that knot. So I got a book on knots, you know? So it's that simple. You find what classes you can. If you're in Arkansas, guess what? We offer a land navigation course for free. So if you're in Arkansas or you're on the Missouri border or Oklahoma or you don't mind taking a drive, yeah, we'll let you know when we're having another class, which is not going to be this the next 2 months because we got holidays coming up. But come January, February, all that, hey, just let me know. Send me an email. Go to our website, www.starsar.org and send us a message, and let us know. And Zach will, or send Zach a message and say, hey, when is Mayhem going to be doing a class? Because that's the biggest focus that we have is land navigation and all that stuff. We will act, and it's not just we're gonna sit there. Yeah, there you go. We're not gonna sit there and just look at a map and look at a compass and go over everything. We do that, but we also go to the national forest and we go and walk around. And each little thing, I will stop and I'll say, "Hey, do you guys see anything around here that could help you navigate without a compass?" You know, and you're actually going to do it. If you're not close enough, find somebody out there. So find maybe one of your friends, military person. Hey man, you mind teaching me how to read a map? You mind teaching me these things? You know, um, it's just learn, 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 learn. You know. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could have I could travel out of state now, but well, I don't know. It might be better next year because gas might go get down, right? Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, just get out of the mindset of relying solely on electronics. They're not always going to be here for you.
One common mistake is over-reliance on GPS without a backup plan. People tend to follow GPS directions blindly, often without considering that the technology could fail. In emergencies, GPS devices might be useless due to dead batteries, weak signals, or map inaccuracies. Preparing for this involves learning basic map and compass skills to use as a fallback. Carrying a physical map and a compass ensures that even if technology fails, you have a reliable alternative. Relying solely on GPS can create a false sense of security, which can lead to disorientation when technology is unavailable. Another mistake is neglecting to study the area beforehand. Many people rely on GPS apps to guide them step by step without a general understanding of the area. This lack of awareness can lead to confusion if the GPS stops working unexpectedly. Preparing involves familiarizing oneself with the general layout of the destination, noting important landmarks or major roads that can guide you if technology fails. This habit strengthens your ability to navigate independently and reduces reliance on step-by-step guidance. A frequent error is not preparing for poor satellite reception in areas with dense foliage, tall buildings, or mountainous terrain. In these conditions, GPS signals can become inconsistent or fail entirely. Knowing this, preppers can equip themselves with navigational tools like a compass and map. Practicing reading topographic maps adds a layer of security, as these maps offer detailed terrain information that can help in environments where satellite coverage is limited. Technology may fail, but understanding how to interpret landscape features offers a solid backup. Battery failure is another significant risk. Many people overlook the importance of having backup power sources, like extra batteries or a solar charger. In cold weather, for instance, battery life can deplete faster, leading to sudden loss of GPS. Preparing for this involves packing additional battery sources and minimizing GPS use by turning it on only when necessary. Solar chargers are also a practical solution, especially for long excursions. By ensuring access to power, preppers maintain control over their navigational resources. An often overlooked issue is the lack of digital map updates. Relying on outdated maps can lead to incorrect routes, especially in rapidly changing urban environments. Regularly updating maps is essential, but so is having a physical map, which does not require updates. Preppers should balance their reliance on digital maps with regular study of their area to notice any changes in road conditions or new constructions. This awareness keeps them adaptable and prepared for route adjustments when technology is misleading or unavailable. To avoid these common errors, preppers should make a habit of using both digital and traditional navigation methods. Practicing with compasses, maps, and natural navigation techniques reinforces skills that might be needed if GPS fails. When preppers rely on themselves rather than technology, they strengthen their independence, making them better prepared for situations where resources are scarce or malfunctioning. UP out.
Good job, Zach. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I definitely suggest that people take a class or watch a YouTube video, because reading a topographical map is not like it's not like looking at this piece of paper and seeing the north arrow in the bottom corner and taking your compass and going, oh, well, that's north. No, there's a process to it. And it's going to be different for different parts of the United States, because like in Arkansas, a lot of people that haven't done any land navigation training don't know that there's three types of north. Did you guys know that? There's three types of north. There's what's known as true north, grid north, and the third one is magnetic north. Okay. Magnetic north is where the compass will point to. True north is actually where the North and the South Pole are in relation to latitude, longitude, right? Lines. Um, and then you have grid north. Grid north is the grid on the map. It's in relation to the map itself. And on the scale of a topographical map, it actually gives you all three of those. And you have to do some calculations, because you can't just look at it and go, oh, I'm going to go in this direction. Because you're going to be way off, because you haven't you haven't countered for what's known as magnetic declination, which if it goes to the left, like there's an arrow, and this one might be grid north, and this one right over here that's pointing at this one right here is pointing at uh, magnetic north, right? So if it goes to the left, you add the degrees that you shoot your azimuth for. If it goes to the right, you subtract. And there's a process at looking at a map and having a map protractor, and you might see some people out there with a map protractor and a string, and they're moving it around. They're actually getting the degrees so that they actually know what direction to head using their compass. So it's not just, hey, I could look at a map and I can understand this. No, there's a lot to it. And I was in I was in the army for 8 years, and honestly, I had the basic concept of it, but thank God I wasn't in artillery because I would have definitely needed that. But it wasn't until I slowly started getting out of the military that I was like, oh, I understand land navigation now. I know how to read these maps. So it takes a while. It takes practice. Don't just think you could buy a compass and a map and understand it, and a map protractor and all that. There's actually a lot to it. Especially knowing your own distance. There's a way that you can actually you can measure out distance on a map using the scale down at the bottom, but there's also a way for you to do your pace count and figure out how far you have gone, because you know there's sometimes you may go past that point that you want to go to if you're not aware of your pace count. But I'm of course, make sure you guys subscribe to our channel, because I will be doing some videos on that with the help of the team. But right now, I can't do any of that. We're so busy with the Finding Brent McGee, and we've got a Christmas parade coming up. So my team is scattered out right now, and I haven't had time to actually do any videos. So I apologize to anybody that's actually subscribed over there and like, hey, why haven't they done any videos yet? That's why. I'm super swamped, and I need to have a weekend and whatnot. But we'll do those videos, and I mean, there's currently videos out already on YouTube. It's not like we're doing anything special, but check that out, and just type in like land navigation, map reading, and there's ex-military guys in there. Like I think Corporal's Corner has one. There's some others that have done it too. So, but watch it. Take notes if you have to. Watch it again, and then actually get you a map, a topographical map, and get those maps at mytopo.com. We are not affiliated with it, right, Jack? No, we don't get it. We don't get any royalties for mentioning that, but that's one way you could get a topographical map. You can have a custom one or whatever, and hey, get out there and practice. Hey, Indy, what's up? Thank you. Great live. Yeah.
Do you have any final words for tonight's discussion?
Not really, guys. Like just study, practice, and practice makes perfect. And even if you know some of these skill sets, you can still make mistakes. But your margin of error is going to be a lot smaller when you know all this information. I mean, it happens. We're just human beings. Like we're going to make mistakes, but it's better that you practice this now, because later on, you don't have all these materials to go back to. You won't have Zach's live stream to go back to. You won't have Corporal's Corner, all that. But it's what we call muscle memory. The more you practice it, the more when it comes down to it, that's what the military taught us. Muscle memory comes right, and you'll be like, "Oh shoot, I remember that." But always have that material in your hand, those books, and just practice. That's all I gotta say. And you guys will be all right. And remember, if you guys ever get lost, call me. No, I'm just kidding. Zach. That's actually funny. I was gonna make a shirt. I don't know if you. I guess I gotta get your chat's view on this. We were thinking about finding a way to raise money for us, and we didn't want to make our shirts to give out to people because we don't want people to actually misrepresent us. So I was coming up with an idea of like a shirt we could make that we could sell. It would be still the same color of red, but what do you think of this, Zach? Help, uh, yeah, help support search and rescue and get lost. Yeah, I had some people tell me that sounds a little too rude, but hey, we don't have a job if you don't get lost, though, right? So help support search and rescue and get lost. No, thank you, Letney.
As we wrap up this episode on navigation prepping, I hope you feel more empowered to tackle any situation that requires finding your way without relying solely on technology. Knowing how to navigate naturally isn't just a skill but a mindset that reinforces self-reliance and confidence. Whether you're in the wilderness or navigating an urban landscape, these skills will give you the knowledge to stay oriented and safe, even in the most challenging conditions. Mastering navigation isn't something that happens overnight, but every step you take to practice and learn brings you closer to becoming truly prepared. Remember, whether you're using a compass, reading the stars, or observing natural landmarks, each technique is a building block of survival that makes you more adaptable and resilient. Keep honing these skills, and over time, you'll find yourself equipped to handle whatever comes your way, even when the path forward isn't clear.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Thank you for spending your time with us here at Unique Prepping. Your support means the world, and it helps our community grow stronger every day. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions on navigation prepping. Every bit of engagement makes a huge difference, helping us reach more people who want to learn practical skills for survival and self-reliance. Thank you for joining us. I love you all. And as we part, let's reflect on this verse from the King James Version. The Lord is my rock, and my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust. Psalm 18 verse 2. Stay safe, stay prepared, and always trust in the journey ahead.
Good night.
Nutrient Survival isn't just survival food. It's special ops grade. Built to the nutritional standards of the U.S. Special Ops and packed with 40 essential nutrients. Formulated to sustain energy, sharpen focus, and keep you and your family thriving during any emergency. Real food, real ingredients. Oh, and a 25-year shelf life. Our meals will kick your taste buds in the mouth and have them coming back for dessert. Yeah, we've got that too. So whether you're digging in or bugging out, you don't just survive an emergency situation, you thrive in it. Nutrient Survival. Feed your freedom.
Making moves like a chess piece. He's always on the grind in this game called life. Gotta sharpen up the mind. Unique prepping, got the vision locked and loaded. Every challenge that arises, I'm determined, I'm devoted. Stay ready for the call, enter life's demands, and we'll rise together. We'll take our stand. Unique prepping, it's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. Every view, every like, your support is the fire that keeps me hyped. Comment, depth, and insight, share the vision wide. This community's growing and we'll ride this tide. So go ahead and subscribe, don't miss a beat. Tune in next time, let's make this complete. Unique prepping, it's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. Pushing forward, let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's keep it bright. Like, share, comment. Prepping, it's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. You pushing forward, let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's make this complete. Unique prepping, it's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. Never alone. Never alone. Keep pushing forward, let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's keep it bright. Yeah. Let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's keep it bright.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Matthew 5 verse 9 KJV.